So my dad teaches a concept called steady guide, and I want to share it today with you. What it's going to do is help you stay on your new path when you're trying to make some kind of change in your life. So let's just say, for example, that you have decided that you really understand the importance of the mind-body connection, and you understand the importance of not focusing so much on your pelvic floor or your prolapse or your pelvic pain or your bladder issues. So you understand that concept and you've decided, okay, I'm going to stop, worrying so much about this. I'm going to try to stop hyper focusing on my pelvic floor. And when I hyper focus, I'm going to come back into the moment and I'm going to focus on gratitude. This is just an example. But here's the thing. Our brain is primed so that it goes down the same neuronal pathways again and again and again, these ruts in our brain. And we get really practiced at doing certain things like worrying about our pelvic floor or obsessing about our prolapse or focusing on the pelvic floor and maybe some fears that we have. Our brain runs on automaticity, automatic reactions. It's just the way our brain essentially saves energy because we have so much we're trying to do all day long. We have to make certain things automatic. And some things that become automatic, like worrying or hyper-focusing or hypervigilance, can actually be counterproductive in the long run. But the thing is, these paths, these neuronal paths, these ruts, they're really easy to fall back into. So we have this issue in our lives where we have the best of intentions, but we can be really emotionally unstable, kind of like bouncy balls, boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. And we can be really easily up and down. We can really easily be responding to certain emotions that throw us off track if we don't have a steady guide. So the concept of steady guide, I like to think of it as literally a person. I like to almost see a guide. This helps me, but I'm very visual. So I like to almost visualize a person who's maybe in front of me and guiding me along the new path, the path that I know I want to go on. Because the thing is, when you make a change, it's not easy. It's not easy to go on the path that you know is better. It's not easy to start eating healthier after you've been on a streak of eating junk food for a long time. It's not easy to get back into exercise if you know you need to, but you haven't been. It's also not easy to make some of these mindset shifts that are going to keep you out of hyper-focusing on your pelvic floor and actually looking at the bigger picture in the world around you. It's not easy. Even though it's the right path, it's not easy. So you need that steady guide who's going to help pull you through down the new path, the new change you're trying to make, the new thought processes you're trying to make happen, so that you don't just simply react to the emotional ups and downs of life, so that you don't succumb to the bad day you're having where you're constipated for no reason and your pelvic floor feels heavy and you feel like it's all downhill from here. Or the day when, your pain flares and you're like, oh my gosh, none of this is working anyway. All of those things will throw you off course if you simply emotionally respond to this and to that, to this and to that. You need a steady guide. For some people, they can relate this to a higher power to call upon. But I personally find it very, very helpful to think of the steady guide as simply my inner self, my inner wisdom. And I picture literally a guide that's helping me stay balanced and calm and in the present moment so that I'm not pulled in this direction and that direction and all the other directions that my emotions want me to take. Because it's easier for the brain to go and follow those highly charged emotions and then to go back down the neuronal ruts that we're trying to get out of. It's hard to create a new, healthier path. You're having to forge a new trail that's never been forged before. You're having to cut down the branches that are in the way and tread down the grass on this new path. But it's possible if you have that steady guide that will help you through. So even when you're having those highs and lows, your steady guide. For me, I love to picture a steady guide almost holding my hand and keeping me calm, keeping me in the present moment, and creating that new neuronal rut, that new healthy neuronal path. I hope this helps you to just visualize somebody or something that can help be your steady guide to pull you through on the new path. You've got this. Remember that this mind-body connection is real, and there's so much you can do to help your whole body and your pelvic health by focusing on that connection. I will see you next time.